Hi everyone, my name is Erin and I'll be doing my presentation today on my cross country coach in high school. Her name was Coach K and she was a great influence on my life. She wasn't only a great person but a great coach, and she combined sports and life to teach us many things. So the 5 social aspects of sports that I'm going to focus on are women, religion in a sport, deviance in a sport, sporting behavior, and development in a sport. So the first one I'm going to focus on is women. I picked this one to go first because I felt as though it was the most important. As we learned in the chapters that we read throughout the semester, we learned that there aren't that many women coaches at any level of sports. But what I thought was really cool was that Coach K was not only the women's cross country coach, but also the boys cross country coach, which is definitely something that you don't see very often at like especially higher high school level sports. One thing that I thought was really good about this was that Coach K taught us equality for the boys and girls. She taught the boys because boys sports are always put at a higher level um, of competition and stuff like that. She always taught the boys to help the girls improve, do better, give them pointers. So they would always watch us run and they'd try to help us improve, which I thought was great. And the girls would also give the boys points if they were struggling on what to do to improve. So I thought Coach K coaching the boys and the girls team gave us such a great group dynamic. And also the equality for the boys and girls team was great. And we learned through Title IX that women were able to do sports. If you would go back how many years, we wouldn't even be having the opportunity to be running cross country, and Coach K wouldn't be having the opportunity to coach. Another thing with this was I have a story that kind of goes along. Some practices, if it was really hot out, the boys would take their shirts off and run, and sometimes, not all the time, the girls would just run in their sports bras and their shorts. And one day, someone from a higher level administration from our school came out and said that the girls shouldn't be running in their sports bras. It's so inappropriate, and everything like that. And Coach K marched into his office and he said, she said, there's boys that walk around the school with their shirts off after football practice, but girls aren't allowed to run outside in their sports bras when it's like 90 degrees out. And she really laid down the law, and after that, a cross country team, the girls were allowed to have their shirts off, the boys were allowed to take their shirts off if they want, and nothing else really developed from there. So I thought that was really cool that not only the girls were given the equal opportunities, but also that Coach K went and fought for the girls for the equality. So that was pretty cool. The next one I'm going to focus on is religion in a sport. As I mentioned in a couple of my posts from throughout the semester, I went to a private high school, which made things a little different than from if I would have went to a public high school. One of the things that is different is that we would pray. Our team would get in a circle and we would pray before our meets. We learned about this in chapter 15, and we learned that sometimes with religion in a sport, other teammates scrutinize certain teammates that show their religious beliefs. Going to private school is different because we all have the same beliefs, so no one was really scrutinizing each other. It was sometimes that we would get scrutinized from other teams. They'd walk past us and kind of give us dirty looks, like, what are you guys doing? But Coach K taught us not to worry about it. Our religion is something that unified our team, and it made us closer. And I thought her teaching us not to care what other people thought was a great thing, especially in sports. The next one is deviance in a sport. We learned deviance in chapter 18, and deviance is when norms are being violated. Three things that go with deviance in a sport are bullying, hazing, and violating rules. Coach K told us from the very beginning, she told us even before the season started, she told us at the sports meeting that if we did any of these three things, we would automatically get off the team. It didn't matter how good of athletes we were. It didn't matter anything like that. No questions asked. We were kicked off the team, and we were also going to get punishment from the school. I thought that was a great thing because that taught us that we couldn't get away with behavior like that, and no matter how good of an athlete we were and how good we were at cross country, she told us that that behavior was absolutely unacceptable and that we have to treat other humans with respect and dignity. And I also thought that made her a great coach because not many, but some other coaches would just let that stuff slide, especially if their star athlete was doing that to someone. And I don't know, I think that just shows how great a character Coach K has. And then the next one, sporting behavior. A couple things I said with deviance kind of goes with sporting behavior. We learned in chapter 10 that a word that's often linked to sporting behavior is sportsmanship. Coach K definitely taught us to always have good sportsmanship, to always be cheering on your team, other teams, no matter what. And we learned about this in other chapters, and if you were an athlete yourself, you would understand that sometimes emotions run high in sports. And Coach K was always there at the finish line if we ran bad to say, it's okay, you'll run better next time, or shit happens. And I think her laid-back attitude and that she always had good sportsmanship, I never saw her blow up at anyone or do anything relatively close to that. I think that translated into the athletes as I first ran cross country when I was a junior in high school, and before that, I was never really one to cheer anyone on. I mean, I kind of would, but I never really. But once I ran cross country, I was cheering everyone on, no matter what school they were from. I was always watching the races and cheering them on. And then I realized when I was looking at the other sports that I played, I was translating that into my other sports. So it's amazing how Coach K taught us one thing that translates not only through the sport that she's coaching us, but also through other sports. And then the last social aspect is development in a sport. Ways that Coach K had development through a sport was that she would have physical activity camps, and she'd have these for younger kids, elementary school and middle school kids. And I think these are very important because at a young age they taught skills of running, which you would think that running you just get out and run, but you actually have to have some knowledge to be a good runner. And these camps also taught teamwork, even though cross country is mostly an individual sport, it's also a little bit of a team sport as well. So it's very important, and that's one of the main things that she stressed was teamwork. And then since it is partially an individual sport, at these physical activity camps, she would also focus on things like self-confidence, discipline, and respect towards yourself and others. And all those things make you a better athlete, not only for yourself, but also for those around you. In conclusion, like I said earlier, Coach K was a great coach. I'm absolutely thrilled that I had her for cross country, even if it was only for 2 years, because she taught me so much. And I'm coaching a softball team this summer, and I hope that I can be half the person that she was. And I'm going to be taking a lot of things that she taught me and translating that into the sport that I'm coaching. So, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for a great semester. I'd love to hear your feedback on this, so comment away.